So yes, the title is maybe long. Patrick said on the beginning I give him a long title. Yeah, I asked ChatGPT what title I can use this time, and maybe it's a little bit too long, but this is exactly what I wanted. So let's start. And what are the key ideas on this presentation? There is two things. First, Intune is a mature product. We are completely supporting 4 platforms at the same level. So our goal is not to stop at some point, but is really to manage all of them. We have a deep relationship with Apple. You will see during all the presentation how we are working with them, how we are changing information. So my team, who is doing the Apple part, have the same type of relationship, even sometimes they say better, that the Windows team has with Windows team in Microsoft that are working with them. So it's quite interesting to understand how we are working in Microsoft. Last year, I saw that slide already, and it's important to know how it is because I will speak about it. Private preview is something we are running just with some customer. We can say 10 customers, they are directly working with engineering team, and they are testing something that is coming. It's not finished, it's not ready for production. Public preview is something that we are starting to implement, but is not finished. It's not finished because the vision we want to do is bigger. We want to add something, we will make the thing grow, but it's fully supported. So every time you see in the Intune console something that is a public preview, that means you can use it. It will be supported, and there will be no issue with it. But it will get better during the time. General availability, fully supported, is there. We did what we want to do. That's not mean we will not change it later. That just means the initial goal, the initial project is done. This is everything. Well, it's not exhaustive. This is the majority of the thing we are doing with Intune today. And all of this is something we did this year. So in the last 12 months, who was there last year? And wow. Okay, so you can see that I didn't lie, because I presented a lot of these things last year. This is what is coming soon. So when I say soon, that means it's already under development. That means it's coming in the next quarter or 2 quarters. It's finance, it's design, and everything. Custom apps detection, extremely important. If you saw yesterday the presentation that has been done on application, how you detect application, how it's working, with custom app detection, you will be able to use a script that will tell you. So you will have a power to do what you want. User channel, extremely important for people that are using certificates specifically as user. Thank you. And by the way, it's coming in 24/11. It's already in private preview today, and we already know when it will be there. Recovery log management. So I'm living in Switzerland, and all my bank customers say, we need to protect the recovery log partition. So yes, it's coming, and we will do it correctly with a proper way of doing it instead of locking and unlocking one by one. Just-in-time compliance remediation. This is something that we have added already for iOS and iPadOS. So that means you are starting Outlook, any Office application, you will know why a device is not compliant. And default hardware bound on trial registration. Using secure enclave to store everything we have, but I will discuss about this a little bit later. By the way, I love when people asking questions. You can ask when you want, specifically at the end of a thing. I like to reply, or anybody after you can catch me and ask me directly. So the onboarding is always the first thing. And last year, I displayed exactly the same slide, speaking about a wait final configuration. I saw it, how it was working. It has been released in February. What is really important to know is last year I spoke about be able to change the user from standard to admin and to have a lapse solution. This is a really high priority for us, and it will come next year, early next year. Final await configuration is really important for two functionalities that we have today. The first one is the account management. So the lapse thing is there, but you configure it using Entra ID properties. So you have your account, the full name, and everything is coming from Entra. I have a video that shows how it's working right after. The second thing, and this arrived, I think, in May, just when Apple decided to make the defer option mandatory, and we didn't know, so it was not documented. Now it is. So if you want 5-volt encryption, it's great. That means it's directly happening during the setup assistant. Really, really important to set up these settings to all devices. Otherwise, you don't have a 100% success rate. It will be fixed in November. You will be able to use filter and everything. But this is working very good. Here you can see, and again, it will be on the slide deck after that I share. This is the minimum parameter you have to put, well, except the last one, but it's highly recommended. But if you put these three there, it will work. Okay, let's have a video of the enrollment. And I didn't want to do the normal one. I do like it has been presented yesterday on slide. So I'm pressing option here during the enroll. So that means we are going to the advanced version. My understanding, it will become the default one soon. So here I'm logging with my account, and I will not type my password. I will identify with a passkey. And the passkey is stored in Authenticator on my device. So here, you can see that there is a QR code. I scan it. I'm so happy I was able to synchronize them. And done. So this is really a passwordless solution there. You don't need to type anything. Yes, you need to have your iPhone that is enrolled and having Authenticator configured, but it's directly going through. Await final configuration, it's there. As I said, we are taking the information directly from Entra ID, so you can see it's gray, full name and account name, because we are using the variable. Here you need to put a passcode. So this is a device passcode. Depending on the platform SSO option you will use, because I guess you want to use the platform SSO, this passcode will be replaced with Entra ID after, or not, and it will stay as a device passcode. Location service, 5-volt disencrypted, Touch ID, and the new welcome screen that I love. But we have a skip key if we really want to skip it. Acme. Thank you, Joel. I don't have to explain to everyone what is Acme. I can just say that is Sequoia only. It's currently on private preview. Attestation is currently on private preview. Acme is doing a progressive deployment. My idea was to show you this and how it's working, but I don't need. Instead, yesterday, I did the Joel slides.
That's a different.
So, if you want to see your Acme certificate, it's in the management one. Go up. And here you can see the little bit complex certificate. And as you said, this is the only way to see it. I got the confirmation yesterday also that this will be rolled out at the end of the year to all the tenants. You asked me also, Joel, how the check-in happening and how often we are verifying the certificate. So we are verifying it at every 8 hours, so every check-in. Spoiler alert, we will change the check-in later how it's working, but for now it's every 8 hours. And when it's valid, the checking is validated. And if you are using compliant, if your device is not valid and it didn't check, it will be out of compliance and you do what you want with conditional access. This certificate is valid for 1 year, and between 6 months and 1 year, it will be automatically renewed. And please, Joel, it's in Tune and not in Tune. This is in Tunes, and this is the other company.
Is it Azure? Entra?
In Tune. We will have a report for the device attestation. So it will be for all the platforms that are supporting attestation today. So it will be a centralized report. This report is also in preview. It will be in preview, in fact, as soon as we are starting to have attestation in preview. You will see in the console how the attestation is working and if the device is capable or not of attestation. If it's a VM, so we are only supporting VM on Apple Silicon devices, and in this case, it will say attestation is not supported. You will be able to have filters based on the attestation and decide how you want to control it. Hey, thank you. Again, I saw this slide yesterday, but I think it's interesting, especially because it has been evolved. So we just have Sequoia, also iOS 18. So for us, it's really, really important to have zero-day support. And in fact, to even have better than zero-day support, that means to have the settings as soon as we can. So it's important for enterprise to test. Test the beta, test how it's working in enterprise, test what you want. So back in the days, you had to, there is a new settings, it's published on a Apple developer site, you check, you create a UI for it, you put your information, and you have something 3 months later. It's impossible, there is way too much settings these days. So what we did is we built an automatic incorporation process that's taking from the YAML of Apple, transforming it to JSON, and automatically building a settings catalog. So settings catalog, in the settings catalog, you have all the settings that Apple released automatically. Of course, that don't mean we don't validate the settings and we check if it's okay. But if we take, so last year for Sonoma, it took 3 days. This time for Sequoia and iOS 18, it took 3 hours. In 3 hours, we had all the settings available as soon as Apple released them. And they are in the setting catalog, and they arrived in the August version, so 24, the year 08, August. And all the settings are there. We have published 2 different blog or notice. One that is Apple Zero Day, the other one who is Apple Intelligence, how you can manage the settings and when the settings are coming. We know that there is Apple Intelligence is rolling out, there is more settings coming also for MDM. We are supporting them as soon as they are coming. By the way, I love QR code. You will see a lot of QR code if you cannot wait to have the slide deck after available. Settings catalog, it's really cool for macOS information, but it's also cool for our own application. So Office, Edge, Outlook, OneDrive, Defender, all of these settings are supported, and we are also supporting variable. This allows to have a very, very fast process when you put this in a payload. By the way, it's not in the slide, and I should put it. Variables are now supported everywhere in the settings catalog. That means if you want, for example, have a preference file on the disk with some variable, yeah, you can create it. Just do it, it's easy to do. If you want to display the asset number, the name of the device on the login page, yes, you can. You just need to use the variable. It's widely supported. And this is new. DDM, I will go quickly on this slide. We were the first MDM to implement it. We work really closely with Apple about it. Last year, Apple released DDM update to update the device. I had a lot of conversation with all my customers. And it's not 90%, it's not 95%, it's 100% of the customers who said when they are using DDM update, they can maintain the fleet up to date. All the devices are up to date. DDM is the solution. And by the way, in Sequoia, it's only DDM for software update. It's really easy. You have only two parameters that are mandatory: the version and the date. Local time. We had a little glitch on this last year, but now it was UTC, now it's local time. So it's really easy to use. Be careful, there is a lot of new DDM settings for Sequoia. If you try to use the Sequoia DDM setting on Sonoma, it's not working, it's not updating, it's not moving. So you use this one to move to Sequoia, and as soon as there is a new version, you can have a new Sequoia profile. This is great because it's a profile. That means you can create rings. You can have user that will update now, a user that will update in 1 week, and the majority of your user updating at the end of the month. Really, really powerful. This is how DDM is working. I think you already saw that slide multiple times. 30 days, it's there. 40 days, daily notification. 24 hours, every time it's pushing and it's asking to update. This is the new DDM settings, so it's not only software update. So this is the new DDM settings that we added. Disk management, it's Sequoia settings to block or to only allow read-only. Passcode, you can now set the passcode with DDM. Safari extension, and of course the software update with a new settings for the settings update. This is what I said, don't use them on Sonoma, is blocking the update. Certificate in user keychain, yes, finally it's coming, as I said before. It's in private preview 24/11 for everybody with a UI. Thank you. So let's move to the big one, Platform SSO. Platform SSO has been really an iceberg, and it's the big thing from last year's. It's still in public preview. That means it's not finished. There is a lot of settings. We are planning to have it at GL next year, early next year. Depending on the settings, we finally decide to integrate. It's mainly driven by the Entra ID team working with us on this. So why I say it's an iceberg or a Swiss knife? The synchronization of a password is really the top of the iceberg. This is what everybody is speaking. This is more or less what the user would like, to have only one platform, only one password. So if we go back to my video that I stop on the welcome screen, we can see the next step. So this is my admin. You can see it's read-only. And we go for registration. The new platform SSO screen are way better, way bigger. So I log with a local account password. Put my user. And because Apple is supporting it, we are supporting it here also. So that means you can also use the passkey on Authenticator. So same, imagine my iPhone, I scan, it say, okay, use Authenticator, and it go forward. This is the Entra ID registration. And here, this is where you have to type your password, your Entra ID password, because it's doing the synchronization. And this is the option I choose for my profile to use. Authenticated, binding, so it's way more clear. And you can close. So now that you have your account registered, all the Office applications are working directly. You can see the date, September 29. I re-record that video just before coming here with a final version, and to be sure to show it with a passkey option. Okay. Important in the settings catalog, there is still an option for the authenticated method. That is, there is two entries. One is specific for Ventura, the other one for the new one, and it's on the platform SSO. Just a warning because you can confuse, and I had recently a customer who had an issue with this. Platform SSO is not working. So we go deeper in the iceberg. The most secure way is to put your token to the cloud in the secure enclave. Like that, you have a device password and you have a token to access your resource remotely. And this is what you put in a secure enclave. So here, instead of using the passkey in Authenticator, I decided to use a passkey in a YubiKey because it's also a new feature supported in Sequoia. So here I put my YubiKey, I touch, just put the pin, touch it again, and that's it. So same is the final, the wet final. We can see everything is gray, still the same thing. Putting a device password, here it's important because this is the password that will stay on the device. If you have a password policy, it will take an effect here. Location service, file vault encryption, touch ID of course, welcome, and we have a tiger. So here when we go to the platform SSO screen, we can see there is only two entries because it don't say the password will be synchronized. Of course, same as before, we are supporting the passkey here. So you can also use the YubiKey and plug it. You need to have your company portal up to date, by the way, to have this option. And here we can say it's a real passwordless. At no point I had to type my password. And you will never have. You can take now with a YubiKey, you put it in a safe somewhere, or you putting somewhere you know it is, and you can use your device. Your token will be automatically synchronized. You need to register the passkey. It's important here because it's not in your phone. And go. So all the Office application automatically, I will not do all of them, but they all have the automatic synchronization, and you don't have except OneDrive to click, you automatically log. You never have to put your password. It's just working, including Edge. I forgot Outlook. So password, YubiKey, passkey, secure enclave, This is the most secure way of doing it. Up to you to choose the proper method. We are supporting both. The command line, it's quite interesting to know app.sso space platform -s or status. It gives you all the information. I guess there is more and more information every time there is an update of macOS. You can also see directly on the native UI how it is and what is the method that is used. If you have any issue, you can repair and it automatically asks you again to register and do the process. I said quickly before, just-in-time registration. So if something is not compliant, including if the user didn't do the platform SSO, even if the pop-up is always there, he cannot access the data, and it will be highlighted there. When we will have custom compliance, that means, for example, let's say you want a specific solution to be running and be there, it will be displayed here, directly inside the Office application. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper in the iceberg. You can also select the authentication. You can let a user be created during the login, and you can decide if this user is a standard user or an admin user, or if you want to let any user for the enterprise to log directly on the Mac. So again, it's the last one. So here I'm enrolling, going fast, using password in this one. All of this we already saw, we don't need to see it again. So the user who log, he registers, is an admin by default. So this is Scott. You can see there is a local admin account. This account has been created by a script because we don't have yet labs, and it's coming. So we go for the registration. Here it's a password sync option. So the main one, the user will log. Enrollment in Intune. So here you can see, because this Windows is not refreshing, I reopen it, the user group, and you can see the user is still admin. At that moment, there is the binding that is done, and the settings are applied. And one of the settings is to have the user to become a standard user. And now it is a standard. Here, a reboot is needed to enforce the change. That means if you have, for example, a terminal Windows and the user was logged as an admin, he will stay admin until the reboot. This is the new screen. Also, if there is a detection of a password, it allows you to select. So you can log with your new password. It will ask you to put the previous password and reset the keychain. If you know your previous password, you just put it and it's doing the synchronization. Okay, so any question on Platform SSO? Good. So now my assistant, Copilot, want to stop me here. I was with a customer a month ago, and I was discussing about this. It's okay. I really need to migrate to Intune now. I cannot wait that you have a lab solution. And you have a script. So on our GitHub, we have a script to create a local admin, but it's quite basic. It's taking the serial number of the device, and automatically is transforming as is using a base64 and creating a password like that. It's working, but it's not really robust. If someone knows the trick, it's automatically working. So I say, okay, we could do a script that is a little bit more advanced, and you can encrypt. So I remember there is a command line you can run. You put a text, you encrypt with it, tell what it is. So what I did, I used Google. And I remember I working in Microsoft, so I used Bing. And it was not so bad because on the right, there is Copilot to say, hey, if you want, with terminal, you can do something. So went to Copilot, so copilot.microsoft.com. This is the basic Copilot. We have a lot of Copilot, I know. This is the basic one. And I said, how do I encrypt a password with a keyword on macOS terminal? And it tell me, oh, it's easy. You just open use SSL, you put a pass, and it's working. Yes, this is exactly what I was remember that we can do. And we decided to push a little bit the experiment a little bit further. So, of course, this is a reproduction. I didn't record my screen all the time, and but I capture the question, so it's easy to reproduce. So, how can I do? This is the command. Thanks. So now, let's use this and create a script with it. And this is what I want. And again, I send you back to the discussion there was yesterday on if you use AI to help you, you need to know what you do. You need to know what you want. But he created the script for me. I learned a long time ago in the university that it's always good to have a version number in the script. So I said, okay, put a version number, and every time you will do a new version, you will update this version. So we had version 01. This is the first version. And like that, I was asking more and more to do the script for me. I think a script like that would have taken me probably a day to do. You can see the script. It's quite okay. It's commented. You need to know what you are doing before putting a script in production. Really, really important. But the script is clean, and I didn't believe it was possible. Honestly, after 30 years in IT, I didn't think it will work like that simply with Copilot. So at the end, we had a release of a version. So you can see with a version number, it's 1.2. So that means we did 12 versions of a script until we have the script that we wanted to do. And I was able to run that script. So imagine that the script, of course, you are pushing with Intune, so you don't see the output and everything. This window still doesn't refresh. So here, you have a local admin, you put an icon, the account is there. But the feedback from my customers say, okay, but how I can have my service desk to retrieve the password after? Ah, you run the script, it's the same command. Yeah, but it's not good enough for my service desk. They don't know batch, they don't know how to. So we decided to push the experiment a little bit further. Can Copilot write Swift? Can it do directly a Swift application to doing the thing? In fact, it can. Yes, I had some error. Yes, I had to redo it multiple times. And we was able to take the serial number, do an application. It's not really pretty. You put the serial number, you tap the passcode who is used in the script to encrypt the serial number, and this is the password of the workstation. And this is the local admin password. I was shocked myself that Copilot can do this. I would have been able to write the script. I would never been able to do the Swift part. Not Greg and not Joel. I don't have that skills, but Copilot have them. And yeah, read it, understand how it's working, and it can do quick things. Is it good? Okay, I think. Good. So a little bit on application now. Um, Last year, we already created, so manage application, standard application, package that are signed, that are flat, that use MDM channel to be able to be pushed to the device. Application folder, uh, basic MDM feature. We are supporting this for years, and this is what we will use for DDM application next year also. This is Apple way. But let's be clear, when you manage Mac in enterprise, you know there is more. There is DMGs, there is complex PKG or flexible PKGs who are packaged with more things, just a script, application-less, payload-less application. So all of this is important to be supported, and now it's supported in Intune. So DMG was already supported. The new things we added is we are supporting up to 8 gigs. And we put 8 gigs because nobody asked more, except the people that are using an old version of Adobe and still want 12 gigs support. But if it's your case, come back to me. And it's available. So now, from the company portal, you can trigger also the installation of them. Flexible package, this is great. So we saw on the presentation yesterday that there is prescript and postscript inside the package. But what we decided also is to include on top of this prescript and postscript directly in the UI of Intune. That means you can have a script that's running before, checking if something is there, if a profile is installed, if a user did something. So for free time, 1 hour, you have a script that can run, and you need an exit 0 to install the application. When the application is installed correctly, you can also run a postscript outside of a package, so you don't have to modify your package. You don't have to know how to do your package. And same, postscript are running when it's okay, the application is okay. I need a specific configuration, I need to write a file. Do it, not a problem. Everything is run by your own Intune agent that now for almost a year is running fully in memories, so there is nothing in the disk for the script and everything. So the security has been drastically improved on that side, and it's available also. So that means you can be a little bit creative. We saw this morning something on Swift Dialog, maybe it was yesterday. So I decided to do something like that. So this is the interface of Intune. I create a prescript that will download automatically Swift Dialog. And when Swift Dialog is there, you will have a postscript that will use Swift Dialog and will do what Swift Dialog is supposed to do. In this case, is to reinstall Office. We don't have custom detection yet, so you need to have a bundle IDs. So as shared yesterday, I'm using the packages application, and it's fully empty. The only information you have is an identifier. That's enough. So when we go to the Mac directly, you start the company portal. You go to application, reinstall Office, install prescript, downloading Swift Dialog, postscript, running it. It's closing all the application. It's removing all the Office applications that are there, going directly to our CDN to download the last version of Intune and installing it. This is extremely flexible. This is just an example of what you can do with a little bit of imagination. It's really cool to see a progress bar moving and not going to 99% and stopping there. Well, let's move. Okay. So this is almost the last slide. I want to discuss a little bit about the Mac community. I have been so insulted on LinkedIn. So many people come back to me and say, why you are not using Slack? In Slack, there is an important MacAdmin community. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Nevertheless, how can I convince everyone that is touching macOS, everyone in Microsoft, to say, go to Slack? It's impossible. We try, we discuss, it's impossible. We have a community on LinkedIn that is not a competition of a MacAdmin on Slack. They are both working together. Yes, we have two sites where we can find information for MacAdmins. There is thousands and thousands of websites. I just checked before, we have 3,644 members now. That is people that are using Intune, but also people that are using Office. People from Microsoft that are developing Office for Mac, Edge, Defender, all of these people are there. The community, same as the Slack one, it's helping, it's giving tricks. People are posting questions, people are replying, engineering is there. People from Entra are there. Platform SSO, we solve issue there, and don't think that is a competition. It's just a second community there. Thank you.